We are a team of students from the Masters of Business Administration for Postgraduate Institute affiliated with Sri Javadarpuri University of Sri Lanka. We are doing the MBA program in Bangladesh. We are the first batch 2019-2020. Group 2. Today's assignment is Leadership and Business Development. MBA 512 PIM Leadership Management. We are introducing a business leader of Hayleys Advantis, Managing Director Ruwan Vaidyaratne.
When opportunities shine golden, you need a partner who believes in achieving beyond expectations. Growing in strength and stature since 1958, we at Hayleys Advantis have been a pivotal figure in transforming the transportation and logistics industry of Sri Lanka. Through inspired people, innovative processes and effective technology. With our roots placed firmly within the Hayleys Group, one of the most diversified conglomerates in Sri Lanka, we continue to provide a diverse range of end-to-end solutions to both local and global customers. With our focus on being a regional leader, we believe in reaching beyond excellence.
Ruwan needs no introduction. However, Ruwan Vaidyaratne joined Hayleys Group in 1985. Having a wide range of expertise in the business of shipping, freight forwarding, logistics and aviation. Grown through the ranks to become the managing director of Hayleys Advantis whilst being appointed as a director of the board of Hayleys PLC. Currently, he holds overall responsibility for the transportation and logistics sector of Hayleys Group. Ruwan, who are your role model and mentors?
My main role model is my father, who I look up to because he was an army officer, and he was a very hard taskmaster who really had certain goals in mind. Even in his career, he was a very strong military officer who really fought many battles, and he always had an objective when he moved into whatever. And he was a very determined person. He was a very determined and a tough person. I'm not half as tough as he is, but I have his determination and the commitment, which has really helped my career.
So you consider him as a mentor as well?
Absolutely. I've learned a lot from him, although I didn't agree on certain things uh, uh, on many instances, but overall, I think there's a lot to learn from him. The other role model is Nelson Mandela, a gentleman that I have always followed because of his great values, his leadership, his humility, is something that I always talk about to my teams, and I think he's one of the greatest individuals that
You
this
try to
world has
practice
produced.
those values.
I do. In terms of leadership, I try to practice a few things that he's stated in his books and all that. He talks about how he has learned from his father, who was a tribal leader. And he, as a little boy, used to follow his father. And there is this famous story that his father always made the tribe sit in a circle. Um, uh, and he got everybody to speak before he spoke. So the lessons that he learned is that he treated everybody equally. He never, as a leader, showed that he's the leader and the rest are at a different level, but he treated everybody, made sure that everybody had equal status, and that he gave a good hearing to everybody before he spoke. So he states this in one of his books, saying that two lessons that he learned from his father is good listening and to treat people equally. So these are good things that,
Good listening.
yes, absolutely.
Right.
Okay, Mr. Ruan, how would you describe your leadership style?
Um, so, um, as far as I'm concerned, I always drive business as a leader with a purpose in mind. At Advantis, we have a very clear purpose of uh, uh, finally giving to others, enriching lives of people. That's our ultimate objective. Um, we talk about making sure that we give value to our stakeholders by giving inspired solutions and connecting with people, ultimately to enrich the lives of people. So I am a person who believes as a leader that we need to drive towards a purpose. And that's something that
What is the uniqueness you consider as a leader?
so I believe that as a leader, you need to first believe in yourself. Um, uh, that's the most important thing. You need to
Believe in yourself.
believe in yourself that you can make a difference in whatever you do, and that's how you can build up the level of confidence that you need to take any organization to
Forward.
the next level. Yes.
Yeah. When you are considering partnering with another person or an entity or a business, like what you have done in Bangladesh, what are the factors that you will consider most with your experience?
Yes. So we are driven by a certain culture, and we have certain values. And something that we first look at is we always look at local partners to work with, because we believe that you need to get that know-how from a local partner. So to answer to your question, it is the culture fit that you need to make sure.
Cultural similarities there and
Exactly.
differences.
So that's the most important thing, because if you don't have that culture fit, you're bound to fail. So something that we look at is to make sure that you have the right culture fit uh, to achieve whatever objective that you want to.
Culture fit.
Yes.
So, how do you monitor this performance of your team?
So we have measures in the sense we have a very clear objective. We know as an organization where we want what we want to achieve, and we have very clearly set out our direction,
KPIs.
our objectives, and then we have a framework that drives it. We have very clear KPIs connected to our purpose. So it's not only figures. Uh,
Right.
we look at various measures as much as we look at numbers. We also look at um, driving our values and the purpose.
Purpose.
So it's not simply about numbers
Numbers.
and performance.
Are you able to delegate responsibilities effectively?
Oh yeah, I am pretty good at that. That's something where people fail a lot when you try to keep control, and that I definitely don't advocate. I prefer to uh, clearly define the people's role
Role.
and accountability, and then empower them to drive their businesses. So that's something that I effectively do, and I'm not a person who is frightened of passing down control. I'm not a control freak at all,
Okay.
and that has paid off actually,
Right.
and that's something that I've seen adding real value,
Real value.
because you really make leaders around you. It's not about you and what you do, but it's building people.
So
It's
you
building
add
leaders around you.
creativity.
Absolutely. So, and one thing that you've seen is once you entrust these, empower people, they also make a huge difference.
Difference to the organization.
Absolutely. I have seen it happen over and over again. And I strongly believe of empowering people. And of course, you need to make sure that clear accountabilities are given. So,
Controls are in
accountability and
place.
empowering has to go hand in hand.
What do you think are the most effective methods to motivate your team?
So motivation comes in many ways. One thing is you need to make sure that people know where they are driving towards. So you need to have a clear purpose. That's one of the most demotivating things is not knowing where, but what direction that you're going in. So first is you need to people should understand what you're driving towards. That's number one. And then uh, having your checks and balances and supporting them. There are different levels that people are at. Some people need support, some people just need encouragement, some people just need a pat on the back when they do something good. So it's about, again, clearly identifying our direction. Then, as I said, empowering people, allowing them, giving them that space to do things, and finally saying well done if someone does something. Never forget to celebrate it.
Rewards
Pat
and
on the back,
recognition.
saying well done, celebrating something good that they have done makes a world of difference, and that's something that we do very effectively.
Rewards and recognition.
Absolutely, and it's not money that people look for. It's appreciation.
As you rightly said, pat
Yeah,
on the back makes a big
absolutely.
difference.
Yeah,
Right.
then that says means a word to people.
Yes.
Appreciation.
When you're hiring people, what is your most important factor?
Again, um, making sure that the person is passionate about what he is coming to do, and that culture fit. Whether he or she would fit culturally to our system, and whether that person is really passionate about what he
What
wants
is
to.
going to come
Yes,
and do?
yes,
I was told that you are also heading the HR team.
yes, I am. Yes, group HR comes under me.
That's right.
So passion, I believe, if someone is passionate about something, they will really excel in whatever they do. However small it is, they will excel. So if you see people being passionate about what they want to do, then I would support them wholeheartedly to get them to achieve it. And that culture fit, without which I don't think they would really
Perform.
perform.
What's the biggest risk you have ever taken?
I've taken quite a few risks through my career, and one example I can give you is when we got into uh, operating ships, which was a new thing for us, and we when we got, I mean, that's high risk business,
Operating ships.
operating ships, and my boss, who was a shipping expert, said, "Don't get into it." And there was another foreign ship owner also who said, "Don't get into it." But our team was very passionate about getting into it. They believed in it. This is operating a ship between Sri Lanka and the Maldives.
Maldives.
So, um, so against all advice of experts, because I believed in the team,
team.
and I believed in myself.
And you
Uh,
believe the infrastructure and
yes,
where we are, Sri Lanka is located.
absolutely.
Right.
We went ahead with it. And unfortunately for us, we failed and failed and failed. The first year, we lost
Yeah.
a couple of millions. And then we were wondering, and then I was under severe pressure to exit. But we still believed in it. And the entire team believed in it. So, as the leader, I had the choice whether to listen to the experts and give it up or give it a go. Again, that believing in yourself and believing in the team.
The team.
So I opted to take that path. And I went to in front of the board to ask them for 6 more months to put it right. So the board went through the numbers, and they said, we are not very confident whether you'll be able to make it. But since you all are so passionate about it, we will give you all 6 more months. But on one condition, that someone will, uh, at least one head will have to turn if it doesn't come right. So, uh, in other words, they said one person will have to go home if this fails. Fair enough, we had lost a lot of money. So, myself as a leader, I said, obviously it has to be me because I'm the one who's requesting you. So, I'll take that risk. I'll go home if this doesn't work. So, that was a huge risk that I took at that point in time. I could have easily said, enough is enough, just exit and just move on. But uh, uh, we again, because we believed in ourselves, we made a success of it, and it's one of the best performing SBUs today.
Yes.
So that probably is one of the biggest risks I took with company money and even my job.
What are your current goals?
My current goals.
Yes.
So um, officially, I mean, my my whole idea is by 2025 to take Advantis to a different level, and we have set out certain strategies. We have a 2025 plan that we have outlined, where we are looking at going international, making Advantis a more regional operation, um, because we are the market leaders in logistics in Sri Lanka, and we believe that we have the strength and the know-how to get into new markets. So uh, my goal would be to become a regional player.
When would you make the decision to let a difficult employee go?
A difficult employee go. For me, um, integrity is, when it comes to integrity, it's zero tolerance. Uh, but when it comes to performance, I would give a person uh, a chance or two. So, what I would typically do is, if I have a problematic person, I would support the person. If I see a culture misfit or whatever, and a no-go situation, it's a different story. But if I uh, uh, have half a chance of making a person and helping that person to stay with us, I would advocate that. Uh, but having given that chance, a fair chance to a person, if they still don't come right, that will be the point at
Wait for
which
the
we
line.
will part ways. I think it's important for people to be given a fair chance and be reasonable.
Have you achieved success by dealing strategically in employees in Sri Lanka, in current context in Sri Lanka? How are you? Do you consider yourself successful in employees? I mean,
Yes, I believe that Advantis has some of the best people, uh, and our success is because of our people, and that's one of our USPs, having the right people. We call them the right people. And they are the ones who make the difference here. It's not me, it's the people around who are so passionate about what they do. They always excel, they go beyond. Whatever task they are entrusted with, they would go beyond. And I can assure you that they would be very passionate about what they do. And as a result, they will always deliver beyond expectation. So yes, we have definitely, uh, it is a success story. Our people are the best that anyone can find.
So get the right people at the right position.
Absolutely. We have always, uh, we've been blessed with good people. I think we spend a lot of time to source the right people, um, with that right culture, with the right level of energy, uh, to give that desired output.
When it comes to marketing information, do you consider yourself as a successful leader?
Yes, so uh, that's another thing that we strongly believe, in information. And whenever we do something new, we have a team, we have a business development team that goes into a lot of research into those businesses before we take a decision. So we believe in information, and we have an entire team that researches a lot uh, when we get into businesses.
So when it comes to barriers to entry in the market, how do you tackle that situation?
So yeah, um, that's another thing. As I said, if we talk of going into international markets, um, various businesses have various barriers. So, firstly, you need to research and understand what those barriers are. And we try to break them by partnering with uh, good partners, as I said, who can deal with some of those barriers, who has the influence
Right.
over people to break those barriers.
Especially for first entry.
Absolutely. So that's what I said, that we do a lot of research before we get into
Right.
something, and this is something that we really look at.
Now, actually, in Sri Lankan context, employees are a great challenge, not only to recruit, even to retain, especially in Sri Lankan context. What is your advice to us on this?
So um,
Are you really affected by this?
no, as I said, we've been lucky. We've been able to source the right people. So it's about branding yourself, employer branding to
Employer
begin with,
branding.
to make sure that you have a strong brand to attract the right people. Number one, make sure that you attract the right people. And then, of course, attracting is not enough. Once you get people on board, you need to make sure that you look after them. You may need to make sure that you create that right environment for people to work, and support them, train, develop them, and make sure that you get uh, the best out of them. So I think we've been able to attract good uh, people, because one thing that helps is a strong brand.
I think you said the right thing. You have made your brand right,
Yes,
so people would like to join Haley's group. I'm
exactly. So
sure.
number one is to develop that brand to that
Develop
level,
brand.
so that people are passionate in.
So you are being blessed with that.
Yes, it's something that we have worked during the last several years to build that brand. It's not easy building a brand. It takes a lot, and somehow it has helped us. Um,
Now, in an ever-changing market, to be a market leader, what steps have you adopted?
so Uh,
Because Hayleys is 140 years old company, and the market
yes.
is keep on changing. It's evolving.
Yeah. So one thing is that you need to be agile. You need to be ready for change. You can't be the old traditional organization.
Right.
Uh, Haley's a 140-year-old company, but you can't uh, sit back and say you're a 140-year-old company and everything comes right for you. You need to adapt to change. Logistics, particularly, is a business that is in for a lot of disruption with technology, and you need to be ready to change and adapt. So I think that's the key to
Yes.
success.
Right.
And I must say that we've always been ready for change, and our people are ready for change. So that's has really helped us.
So people understand what is the change is and why
They
the change
do
is needed.
understand.
Yes.
They do understand, and whatever new things that we introduce, if we come up with something and say, "Shall we look at this differently?" They will always embrace it.
So they will be told first why you need the change, what is the change, what will be the outcome of the change.
Absolutely. Communication is one thing that is very important,
Right.
and I would never advocate anyone um, to take decisions just on their own. You need the buying-in of the people. You need to communicate to people and get them to understand. If you want to make a change, I think it has to be with full
With the full
understanding.
understanding.
Otherwise, it fails.
Right. Finally, in current political turmoil in Sri Lanka, what have you got to say to this business community in this country?
As far as I'm concerned, I really don't bother about politics,
Right.
whether it's blue, green, black, or white, uh, because everyone has had their various issues. So, all what I can say is that you need to do your thing, not to blame the politicians and the political environment. You need to be focused because it is uh, the private sector that has really kept going. I mean, we've had our issues, we've had our share of problems in this country, but the private sector has continued to progress, and we've been very, very resilient in that sense. So, um, my advice is that you need to know what you want to do and just
Just do it.
do it, uh, and don't make politics an excuse. And as far as the politicians are concerned, my expectation is uh, policy consistency is one important thing,
Policy consistency.
and governments need to support entrepreneurship and uh, take ensure that local interest is protected.
Protected.
Yes,
And the
so
right infrastructure is in place.
absolutely right infrastructure in place. Um, that's a very important thing because infrastructure is absolutely necessary, and
Because
that's
you need to compete with the international market.
exactly. So for us to compete with the international market, uh, infrastructure is something really necessary. For example, we've been pushing governments to get the container terminal in Colombo going, but it's been a challenge. It's been a
Challenge.
slow process. But having said that, I don't think we need to wait for all that.
All.
Just do it because there are plenty of opportunities around.
Yes. I'm sure you also must be expecting FTAs to sign in Bangladesh to get benefit out of that.
Absolutely. I definitely encourage FTAs, and that's
Right.
something that really can make a difference to any country, and I would definitely support it.
That's right. Now, when it comes to Haley's, Haley's call themselves as early champions of sustainability. How would you describe that to us?
So, giving to society is something that is in our DNA, and we have certain initiatives going. We have a project called Sadhyavara,
Sadyavara.
which where we provide RO plants, uh, reverse osmosis plants. That's the pure water or drinking water to the kidney affected
Affected
areas, the
areas,
CKD areas,
CKD areas.
and I think we support over 16 villages, supporting about 25,000 or more people.
And I think you have also started the second phase of it.
Yes, yes, we've started the second phase. So we don't talk too much about it, but that's a great initiative,
That's right.
and it's modeled in a way that people in the village drives the whole thing, and we've put the infrastructure in place, and it's the villagers who get together and run the whole
Run the whole
process.
setup process for their,
Absolutely,
yes,
and there are multiple other initiatives that go on,
right.
and we're very proud of that part of it.
Now, Advantis being the main contributor to the profitability of Hayleys and considered to be the leading player on the total transport and logistics solution in the country with a 20% revenue increase, which is huge.
Yeah.
So
So yes, again, I it's uh,
you must be more than inspired.
absolutely I am, and I'm inspired because I have a inspired team that supports me, and as I said, uh, we are really blessed with good people. So that makes my life very easy, and it's not about me, but it's the people that makes the difference.
Especially transportation and logistic is very competitive. It's not very easy
Yes, it
and
is competitive, and it is a very
very
challenging
challenging.
business. It's a different problem every day, um, and it's a tough
Yes. For you to
job.
go out there and perform
Yes,
to this level,
yes. So we are very proud of ourselves as the Advantis family for what we have done, because in the Haley's group, we were never the number one. There
yes.
were manufacturing companies that always held the number one position, but it took us a lot of effort and time to get to this position.
Under your leadership.
Um, yeah, but then there are a lot of people who
Right.
supported me in it. Yes.
You are most welcome to Bangladesh. Actually, this is why I was driving you personally also. Please come and be present and show that presence to Bangladesh. Like how big you are in Colombo. I want you to be even bigger in Bangladesh. So this is what we are expecting you to Haley's Advantis to grow even bigger in Bangladesh.
Yes, we are very bullish, Anil, about Bangladesh. We have been bullish about a few markets like Myanmar, Bangladesh, and so on. Bangladesh is something that we really want to invest and uh, make uh, make an impact. So we will definitely uh, leave no stone unturned to make it good in Bangladesh. And we've always believed that whichever markets that we go to, we need to support the local community. It's not about uh,
Right,
us coming and taking over the Bangladesh
right,
business,
right.
but it's about get
Sustainability.
sustainability, supporting the people in the country, and so on.
Right.
Going back to your last question, I must not forget my chairman, Mr. Mohan Panditage, who um, who's also from the same shipping and
Background.
logistics sector, who led the sector before me, who still supports me, um, and his support has definitely also helped to
Right,
get to this position. I'll be failing in my duties because he is actually the person who set the platform here
right.
long before I got onto the saddle. So he's the man who really set this culture,
Right. And
and
he's still the chairman of the
he's still
Haley's
the
group.
chairman. So I think a lot of credit has to go to
Go
him
to him.
for our success.
Thank you very much, Rohan, for
Thank
your
you very
valuable
much,
time.
Anil. It's a pleasure being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.